Welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard. Crazy week, crazy NFL week behind us. Giants and Buccaneers was a fantastic game. He had some heroics and some not so heroic moments in all those games, but it's been a fantastic weekend, and we're looking at another one, which we're going to talk about today. Smokey, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing better than some of the fans.
I don't.
Oh, sorry.
Huh?
I was just saying I'm doing better than some of the fans of some of these backup quarterbacks that took over. I mean, better than Jets fans, I'll say that.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I actually, you remember the bet that we've had? Some very weird person stated that the Jets would make the playoffs or have a positive record, which is preposterous, but someone actually stated it. I can't believe they did it.
I believe it was that Alex guy, you know?
I think so, right? Terrible. I'm pretty sure that's out the window. But then again, both my picks on both the Falcons and Niners records are looking pretty good right now.
Yeah,
so
well,
I'm looking to redeem myself.
Three weeks in, whatever.
Two things before we get into predictions. I don't know them yet. So you were track keeping or the bookkeeper?
Yeah.
How's the results from last week? How do we do?
Man, we are still doing great. We should do this for a living for sure.
All right.
I had 10 correct this past week. And just after I ran through the games, just after watching, and I was thinking about my picks, I was like, man, I don't think I did that well. But I actually did well. I had 10. You actually pulled back out ahead of me with 11 picks correct this week.
Nice.
So,
what game made the difference? Do you have it right now? What was the big one? The Giants, right? Did you pick the Bucs?
What put you ahead of me was the Rams and Browns game. I actually picked the Browns.
You had the Browns. So
but we disagreed on a few. I picked the Texans, and you picked the Chargers. You picked the Panthers. I picked the Cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I might not pick the Browns. I might not pick the Browns the next 4 weeks. We'll see. So far, not looking too good. Not looking too good at all. And the other thing, challenge to you. How many teams are undefeated right now? Take a guess if you don't know.
Man, I haven't looked it up. Let's see. I know of 3, 4. We have 5.
All right, it's 8.
8, really? Wow.
8. And now here's a challenge. Name them.
49ers.
Yes.
Cowboys. Patriots.
Yep.
I'm looking through. I'm not looking at their records. I'm just looking at the teams. Lions.
That's 3 of 8 so far.
No, that's 4.
That's 4?
Yeah.
What did you say? You said
49ers. Yeah, Cowboys, Patriots, Lions.
That's 3. Lions.
Yes, Packers. Chiefs.
See, the Lions, I was expecting you to miss the Lions and then start off with that, but now it's kind of ruined because you got them. So the rest would be like Chiefs, Packers, Rams, and something else that I'm missing. Buffalo Bills.
Bills, yes. That would be the one I was
gonna bring up the Lions actually because that's one of the ones, but we can talk about that later.
Well, the Lions definitely stand out because it's so unusual.
I know.
You know.
Yeah.
It'd be like the Browns going 3-0 last year, you know.
I mean the Bills are also unusual to be undefeated.
Exactly. And they're doing it quietly.
Yes, they are. And they're hoping to stay undefeated, even though we'll see. We're going to see about that one.
Yeah.
But let's get into predictions. Without further ado, we have 15 games this week. First week of bye week, obviously 49ers and Jets are on bye, and we're starting off with the Eagles at the Packers.
And this one, this was actually a tough call because both of these teams have looked really good. They're both, well, the Eagles are putting up points. But since the Packers are at home, I'm going with the Packers on this one.
Oh, for sure. I don't think it's going to be particularly close. Actually, Eagles don't have anyone. They don't have anyone.
Yeah, but they have Carson Wentz.
Yeah, but the Packers have Aaron Rodgers, and he now has someone.
Yeah.
Like usually you would look at those as like the Packers, like Aaron Rodgers, historically not having anyone, doing it by himself, and the Eagles, Carson Wentz, having decent support, and then they're probably about equal. But now Aaron Rodgers has the defense and the running game, and Carson Wentz has nothing.
I want to make a prediction for this game. I want to say Devontae Adams really gets going in this game. This will be his first big game of the season.
Oh, yeah. That doesn't surprise me. I would definitely not take a bet on that one. That would not surprise me. Packers to win this. Probably pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles are going to be in a tough spot. Redskins and the Giants.
Well, last week I would say this was a really tough pick right here. But after the performance we saw from Daniel Jones, I am definitely not betting on the Skins to do anything in this game. They'll put up a few points. The big thing is, do you think they're going to go with Dwayne Haskins in this one, or they're going to stick with Case Keenum?
I'm pretty sure Jay Gruden said they were not, and I'm not expecting it. I'm not expecting him to, and because of that, in part because of that. And by the way, I said it in April. I said it early. You can go back and watch it. I had Daniel Jones. I had him over Kyler Murray. He's my second overall quarterback. Damn, Daniel Dimes is in the NFL. He's for real. I kind of called it, I want to say. Not to brag too much, but he did exactly what I thought he was. He played really well. And listen, the Giants defense tried their best to blow that game, and the Buccaneers also tried their best to blow that game.
Yeah.
But, Buccaneers were better at blowing the game, and
they were
with the big win. I think that that optimism is going to carry on, even though they are without Saquon Barkley, which, by the way, ends their season immediately if it wasn't already ended.
Yeah.
But this is a game that they'll win against the Redskins because they are bad.
Yeah.
So, Giants.
It would have been great to see the two rookies, the second and third picks, go at it. That would have been awesome.
For sure. That would be cool. Chargers and Dolphins.
Like I'm looking for it on my page. Like I need to think about this. I am not ever going with the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are going 0-16 this season.
There's a chance. There is a chance.
I really do. I think we're going to see an 0-16 season. I don't think there's any chance the Chargers blow this at all.
See, the Chargers aren't doing very well, but they were competitive in most of those games. They could have beat Houston, and we're talking completely different levels here. Like being competitive with the Texans, that's a different stratosphere. This is an easy win for LA. The Dolphins are really bad. Now listen, Josh Rosen did fine.
Mm-hmm.
He looked okay. That first half against Dallas was actually uplifting. I thought they might win a game. If they kept playing like that, then they collapsed again. But Josh Rosen is their best quarterback, and his situation still is terrible. By the way, I still feel sorry for the guy, but at least he can get some kind of showing going. If he ends up winning a game, it could be one like this, and that would definitely be great for him. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm gonna pick the Chargers there because the Dolphins just are too bad. They traded everything away.
Mm-hmm.
They were tanking from week one.
Now, let me say,
week one after that game, they decided to tank.
Let me say this before we move on to the next one. Now the first half of that Cowboys and Dolphins game, did you think that the Dolphins were actually trying to stay in this game? Like that?
I think so. They did pretty well.
Yeah, the first half it looked like a competitive matchup, and then in the second half they remembered that
the Cowboys were 20.5 point favorites.
Mm-hmm.
That just simply doesn't happen in football. That's insane.
That's college.
And, it looked close, and at halftime, no one would have thought they would cover.
Exactly.
And they ended up covering the spread because of the second half. But, it was a close game. I don't think the Dolphins can do that again, or they won't do it this week at least. Chargers to win it. Raiders and the Colts. I'm going to stick with Jacoby Brissett on this one, man. He's doing much better, as I predicted. Much better than most people predicted, I will say. I like Jacoby Brissett, man. I think he's going to be a serviceable quarterback. I think he's above the Andy Dalton line, and I think he's going to hold this team together, and I hate that he beat my Falcons, but I like what he's doing there. And with that offensive line, he has plenty time to throw the ball, and they're going to run all over the Raiders at home. I mean, not a lot of people are below the Andy Dalton line anymore.
We might
need to reestablish that.
We need to pick a new person.
Yeah, but it's kind of tough right now because there's so much quarterback carousel going on. Yeah, he's doing good. Colts are doing good. They're looking okay, and this should be one of the simpler matchups. Raiders are not very good. The way that the Broncos have played over the last 2 weeks makes the Raiders win in week 1 look a lot worse. When initially we thought it might be something, but really nothing because the Broncos are absolutely terrible. So yeah, the Raiders are still in the bottom for me, and they're going to lose that game at Indy. Panthers and Texans.
Panthers and the Texans. This is a tough one after seeing how well Kyle Allen played last week. But I still have faith in Deshaun Watson. He pulled it out in that game, and I love Deshaun Watson, man. I know I'm on record saying that, but this kid is awesome, man. If he had a better O-line, they would be the Chiefs right now. They would be. I think Deshaun Watson has the potential to be what Patrick Mahomes is, even. If they just could step up that O-line, they would be a dominant team. I don't know about undefeated, but a dominant team. And I'm going with the Texans to pull this one out at home.
All right, now you said I'm not gonna let that sit what you just said there about Patrick Mahomes. No one right now. No one.
No, I'm telling you,
Aaron Rodgers right now is not what Patrick Mahomes.
I'm telling you,
is not the type of thrower, not even close to the type of passer Mahomes is, because no one is.
Man,
but he's really good.
I'm telling you, if he had the offense, if he was in Kansas City, he would be doing that.
No.
I promise.
He would not be doing that. What Patrick Mahomes is doing right now is unprecedented.
It is.
That's something we've never seen. He is the best athlete in sports right now. He's the most on fire as I've ever seen. No, you can't compare anyone to Patrick Mahomes right now. He's running away with the MVP in week 3. It's unheard of. No. Nobody, not even Aaron Rodgers right now. But
Aaron Rodgers,
being said,
in his prime, though. I mean, I guess you could say Aaron Rodgers is still in his prime, but let's say Aaron Rodgers of 6 years ago. Would you still wouldn't compare?
Yes, The Aaron Rodgers in his prime is the closest to what Mahomes is doing right now. The closest. I'm not even sure if it's the same, but it's the closest. That being said, I'm gonna say this. I kind of forgot about the existence of Kyle Allen for it seemed like a couple of years. They came out of high school, big time recruit, beat out Kyler Murray for a job in college.
He did.
And then apparently he just went under the radar, entered the NFL, and I thought it was like Will Grier, like Cam Newton's down Will Grier. I didn't even realize they had a Kyle Allen on that roster. He comes out and balls. That was a really, really good game. Now it was against Arizona, which dampens the whole thing a little bit, but he made good plays. He played really well.
He did.
And here's my upset pick: Panthers to win it against the Texans. I'm picking him. I'm taking him. I'm trusting Kyle Allen a lot. And by the way, if Kyle Allen wins this game, Cam Newton is going to be looking for a job next year.
Yeah,
and that could be a bold prediction right now. I'm going to take a couple of weeks, but
I say if he puts together a string of 3 or 4 of those kind of games, then I could definitely see that, because much better passer rating than Cam Newton probably ever has had.
Beating the Cardinals is one thing, but if he does it to the Texans and other strong teams, this might be the turn. This would have to be the turnaround in their division. So
Cam Newton's completion percentage is only like 56%.
Yeah, I think Kyle Allen right now, or his performance last game was there was only one Cam Newton performance in his entire career with the Panthers that was better than his. So that's amazing. He's already getting it.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Oh yeah,
Chiefs and the Lions. Undefeated Chiefs.
Yes, this is.
I like saying that.
The 3-0s right here going at it, and
the Lions aren't 3-0 actually. They're 2-1, but they're undefeated.
Oh yeah, you're right, man. I was forgetting that. I forgot about that tie. To the Cards, as a matter of fact. But okay, we're still. One of these guys is going to have a loss at the end of it, and it's not going to be Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs.
It's not.
No, it's not. No, I mean, even being in Detroit, it's not going to happen.
I was playing around with the idea of making this the upset, but I know that this will lose me a point if I do it. Picking against the Chiefs is the craziest thing you can do right now. Honestly, I don't know how anyone beats them. Honestly,
I know
anyone beat the Chiefs right now.
I would say, man, the Lions. I just got this feeling about them that they're going to do great this season, and probably 3/4 of the league, if they were playing them right now, I would be picking the Lions. But
yeah, I mean, I like the Lions, man. They've been looking good.
They are. They're looking really good.
And I don't mind that, by the way, because I generally like the Lions as a franchise. They are very sympathetic to me. I like them, but no, Patrick, Mahomes is lights out. He's too good. He's unlike anything we've ever seen. He's gonna win the game,
except for Deshaun Watson.
No, it's not. We should, if we could word that into a bet, I'll take it. No matter, like, put on it what you will. Put your house on it. I'll take it.
That's hard. That's very hard to do.
Does not hold. Listen, Deshaun Watson is great. He can be great. He's very good. He can be great. Does not hold a candle to the talent and current performance of Patrick Mahomes.
I don't know about that. I mean,
I think there was I want to say there's exactly 2 quarterbacks. Or 3 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL that could throw the ball in a way that no one else could, and that's Patrick Mahomes, that's Aaron Rodgers, and that's Dan Marino, and that's in 100 years of NFL. And Patrick Mahomes, he's that type of guy, and you know what? He might be the best of them. When it's all said, he might be the most talented.
I would throw Brett Favre in there.
I don't know. Mahomes seems to kind of combine the best of Favre and Rodgers.
Yeah,
like the good decision making with the straight up arm strength.
Yeah, and the mobility of Rodgers and
the mobility,
the gunslinger.
Patriots and the Bills both undefeated also, which is obviously the top game of this week.
Yes, it is. These are both undefeated, and one of these teams will be carrying a loss home with them. And actually, I'm going with the Pats, man. I thought about an upset here. This is, I can't pick against the Pats the way they're playing right now. But I mean, they've played 3 extremely poor teams, but they beat them like college cupcakes, you know. And they have yet to allow an offensive touchdown in any of those 3 games.
The Patriots over 3 games have given up 5 points on defense. The Patriots have also scored multiple touchdowns on defense.
Yeah.
The Patriots do not need to play offense right now. If they punt it on first down every drive, they would be winning games right now. Let that sink in.
Exactly.
I recently looked at fantasy stats for curiosity's sake because it's so impressive. I looked at defenses. The Patriots defense over, and you know fantasy, you know how crazy.
Oh yeah.
Over 3 weeks, 61 points. As a defense. The second-ranked defense, 49ers, are at 40.
And their defense is outscoring quarterbacks. That's how crazy it is in fantasy. That's amazing. In PPR at that, outscoring top wide receivers and top quarterbacks, and that's amazing.
It's unprecedented. There is no way they're losing the game. I don't think so.
I can't see it.
And this is scary, by the way. Because
it is
usually the weakest phase of a Belichick defense is the start of the season. The first couple of games, and then it becomes better and better until the playoffs where it's lights out.
Do you know right off?
This is crazy.
Right offhand, are they have a Chiefs game on the schedule this year? I haven't looked at their schedule.
AFC Championship game. Yep.
Well, of course that. But not during the regular season that you've seen, because I haven't looked at their schedule all the way through.
Not that I would know. I don't think so. But we can check that. But I don't think so. That would be the kind of irresistible force object sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean it might end up being it. Right now it's on course to be the best offense of all time versus the best defense of all time.
Yes, exactly.
It's insane. So yeah, we're both picking the Patriots. No big surprises. But can you imagine though if the Bills took it? That would be.
Oh yeah, that'd be. I would be happy. Because I want to see, like, I don't know. I hate of thinking about this. The Patriots are just unbeatable. Like, they're just gonna walk right into another championship. Like, that's not fun to me. Like,
I really can't decide right now who's more unbeatable, Chiefs or Patriots.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in the second topic, actually. Next, we have the Cleveland Browns versus the old Cleveland Browns.
You're right. That 99 deal right there. I'm going with the Ravens. I mean, there's no reason not to. The Browns are playing like crap. The Ravens are still playing at an elite level, even though they lost only to the best offense in the league. And it was a close game. They did well. Lamar Jackson looks like a superstar still. And I'm going with the Ravens.
They almost went toe-to-toe with. Now, Ravens had a much better defense, obviously. They almost went toe-to-toe with the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. But no one is Patrick Mahomes. Not even Lamar Jackson.
Deshaun Watson.
No, Deshaun Watson's not better.
I didn't say he's better.
They're from the same draft. They're from the same draft class. They're from the same
Yes,
draft class.
They are. Right? Yes, they are. And I just think...
Mitch Trubisky.
And Deshaun Watson went out and beat Alabama. Let's not forget that. Basically, I mean, yeah, Clemson was good, but Clemson was not the team that they are right now. And Deshaun Watson took that game in his own hands and beat.
If Deshaun Watson starts throwing for 7,000 yards, 60 touchdowns NFL season, let me know.
He would.
That's what Mahomes is doing right now.
If he was on a more dynamic offense with a better offensive line, he would be. I really believe that.
He's got the best receiver in football. Patrick Mahomes is doing this without Tyreek Hill. He's throwing to rejects, throwing to Sammy Watkins.
I get that.
People that other folks didn't want to have.
He has a horrible.
No Kareem Hunt.
He has a horrible O-line though.
He got Laramie Tunsil.
Well, he does now, and he's still adjusting, but the line is still letting everybody through. I mean, it's like a sieve up there, man.
No one is. No.
I'm not saying he's better. You got to get this. I'm not saying he's better. I'm just saying
he's not equal.
Yes,
he's nowhere near equal.
He would. I'm not even saying completely equal, but I think he would be on par.
Nowhere near. His potential, his best is nowhere near equal Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Nowhere near.
Yes.
No,
he's great.
We'll see. We'll talk about this in 10 years.
Yes, we will.
We definitely will. Did you make your pick, by the way? Did you pick the Ravens? I also picked the Ravens.
Yes, of course.
All right. Titans and Falcons.
Oh, man. Going with the Falcons at home. I'm disappointed.
I believe that. Yeah.
And,
but this is a huge game. This is the direction of the season right now.
Yeah, this is must win.
1-3 is not gonna be good.
Exactly.
This is a must win already in week 4, and that's not a good situation to be in. Mm-hmm. But it's probably the best, or like reasonably good considering the circumstances. That being the Titans are the team that come to visit. You don't want to be playing like the Saints or the high flying Panthers. Right
exactly.
Now. So I'm also gonna go with the Falcons. I think the Titans are manageable. If, however, this is a loss, I think that's probably the playoffs. That's probably it. That might be it for the Falcons. If they lose this game, that's not a good look.
Yeah, because if they lose this to the Titans of all teams, then I think that's Dan Quinn's job.
That's a deep hole. That's a deep hole to dig yourself out.
Yeah, it is, and I don't see him really coming back if they lose this game at home to the Titans. I mean, there's still a possibility, even if they lose, that they could dig it out, because that's only 3 losses.
But they gotta improve.
You could easily go to the playoffs with 3 losses, but you would have to run the table. I mean, maybe
they have to make some changes there.
Yeah, of course. And Dan Quinn is on the chopping block right now. So.
Oh yeah. I'm picking the Falcons to go 2-2. Big time game though. Buccaneers at the Rams.
Well, definitely not picking the Bucs in this one. I've picked against the Rams enough, and they keep proving me wrong. So, yeah, going with the Rams at home.
Somehow the Rams aren't playing as well as they did last year, but they're still on their feet.
Exactly,
and it's still enough.
That's why I pick against them. But they
had the game where Drew Brees got hurt. Obviously, then the Saints didn't have much of a chance.
Yeah,
because Teddy Bridgewater kind of unexpectedly had to step in. But I'm also going to pick them. Buccaneers are not very good. And this should be an easy win for the Rams. And I'm still hoping for that undefeated Niners versus undefeated Rams in, week 5? Week 6.
Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
NFC West rivalry game, Seahawks and the Cardinals.
Okay. I'm going out on a limb. I'm going to pick the Cards in this one. And I hope they don't let me down, because they're at home. Okay. Kyler Murray is not playing horrible, I mean, he's taking a few sacks and not looking that great. He's not running like everyone expected him to. But the Seahawks aren't doing that great. I mean, they dropped it. They dropped a game to Teddy Bridgewater.
Are you kind of like arguing yourself out of what you just said?
I'm trying to convince myself that this is the right decision. Okay. I mean, I may be wrong.
They have Larry. They have Larry. Fitzception.
Yeah. They got Christian Kirk, who likes to drop balls, and that's not helping my case any. Yeah. But they still have Larry.
Seahawks look bad. Seahawks look really bad last week.
They did, so yeah. And they're probably favored in this game, though, even on the road. And I try not to pick road favorites,
Fair enough. I mean,
unless it's blatantly obvious one.
Yeah, I obviously don't like both of these teams. I'm gonna, for the sake of the prediction, because I want to beat you, I'm picking the Seahawks because it makes sense. They're the better team. They should win this. I believe they will. I wouldn't mind seeing the Cardinals win because they're not going to make the playoffs, and why not? Yeah, why not chip one into the Seahawks?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having the Seahawks eliminated halfway through the season from NFC West contention because then it's kind of down to the Rams Niners. So, if it's only 2 teams, that's a much more manageable task than if it's 3.
Yeah,
because then a wild card spot can be locked up much easier.
Oh yeah, of course.
Gonna pick the Seahawks though. I think they're higher quality. Kyler Murray's having a lot of trouble. He's not gonna beat Russell Wilson because he's not gonna be Russell Wilson, like I said in the beginning, which he should have been or had to have been for them to have success, and he's not. Not even to fault him too much about that, but it's kind of right now it's kind of the unavoidable dilemma that I try to point out for half a year now, but people liked his athleticism. Jaguars and the Broncos.
Jags and the Broncos. One team seems to be trending up while the other team seems to be in a world of suck, as Emmanuel Sanders put it.
Very fitting.
So even though the Broncos are at home, I'm going to go with their losing streak continuing. Oh, that brings up another point too. Joe Flacco, above the Andy Dalton line or below? Where Andy Dalton, where he's at right now, even if he's not the mediocre talent.
So it's like right now, either Joe Flacco or Andy Dalton. I'd today rather have Andy Dalton.
Wow, yeah, I agree. But what a
rather rapid decline.
What a fall from grace.
See, the thing is, like, if I want to see Drew Lock start, but I also don't want to see him get burnt and wasted.
Yeah.
On such a terrible team, I think if they're smart, they'll just take the loss this season, draft a great lineman next year or whatever. They're probably going to be picking top 5.
Yeah.
And then rebuild from there. Question: who's the worst fantasy defense, or generally the worst defense in the league right now?
Man, I could have looked this up. The Cardinals. Yes. Cardinals are up there.
The
Broncos. It's Denver. Well, I guess I should have thought about that since you.
1 fantasy point.
Yeah.
In 3 games, the Broncos don't have a fantasy relevant stat. No forced fumble, no interception, no sack. No takeaway, nothing.
Talk about a fall from grace.
Boy, Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, 0 sacks.
Yeah,
you can't. No
takeaways.
It seemed like 2 years ago. You had Von Miller, you had Aqib Talib, Chris Harris, the best defense. What happened? This is terrible. No stat, not a single defensive stat listed. I thought that was an error when I looked at the database, but no. Nothing. Gonna go with the Jaguars.
Nick Fangio better get something going, man.
Oh yeah, the Broncos are all the way down right now. Picking the Jaguars and Gardner Minshew to advance to 2-2. Next we have NFC North, Vikings at Bears.
Vikings at the Bears, man. This is a tough one. This really is a tough one because both teams have 1 loss each, and the Bears looked really good in that Monday night game. Much better. I mean, it was against the Redskins, but much better than they played in their first 2 games. And, they have that come from behind win that they barely pulled out over the Broncos, which doesn't really bode well because we were just talking about how bad the Broncos are. The Vikings, this is going to be a defensive battle here, Vikings are going to run it up the middle 1 billion times and never throw the ball. I'm gonna say that the Bears keep rolling here, and I think they may be putting something together here because they looked really good in Monday night.
Yeah, I think saying the Bears looked outstanding because they beat the Redskins. That's kind of like saying, oh, Clemson looked great because they beat Northern Illinois, right?
Yeah, it really is.
It's really not competition.
Yeah.
This win doesn't prove anything to me, and I've seen Mitch Trubisky make a lot of mistakes. I'm gonna pick the Vikings because, first of all, Dalvin Cook, best running back in the league right now.
He is right now.
He's carrying a team by himself. And also Adam Thielen just emerged. He scored 20 fantasy points. Finally did a good job. Had a rushing and receiving touchdown in last week's game. Contributed to that win. I think Kirk Cousins, while not being an outstanding quarterback, is better than Mitch Trubisky. More consistent as a game manager than Mitch Trubisky. And we know that I'm pretty high on the Vikings still. We know that a good game managing quarterback is all you need to be successful if the team is built around him. We've seen that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Some of the most successful quarterbacks of all time were game managers. Tom Brady, even Montana. I'm gonna be the first guy to admit that.
That's true. Yeah.
Essentially game managers, and that's what you have to be if the team is right. So the Vikings, in my opinion, they had a bad loss. It's now behind. I think they're looking up, and I think they're going to take this one, which is going to be an important one for the division. Cowboys and Saints.
Another tough one, because if you would have asked me a week ago after Breeze went out, I would have said the Cowboys for sure. But they held it together, and Teddy Bridgewater is still a serviceable quarterback. I mean, we can't forget that he was the starter for the Vikings before his big injury. And they shook everything up, and they ended up spending all that money for Kirk Cousins. Even so, the Cowboys are on a tear. Their offense looks amazing. Dak Prescott is doing extremely well. I know that you hate the Cowboys, but you have.
I don't particularly like the Cowboys.
You have to call a spade, though. And I'm going with the Cowboys in a very close, maybe even a shootout. I know it's hard to say it would be a shootout with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback, but this may be what this ends up being.
Well, I'm going to repeat my analogy again. The Cowboys are great because they beat who? The Redskins?
Yes. The Dolphins.
The Giants and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Oh, Clemson is great. They beat Northern Illinois, Western Kentucky, and Sonoma State. Fantastic, unbeatable. The Cowboys haven't done anything. They've beat the three worst teams in the league. People have
three of the four.
The Cowboys ranked. Yeah, people have the Cowboys ranked in their top three right now. Let's see one challenge.
Now,
this is a Saints team without Drew Brees.
It is.
If they convincingly win this game, I'm going to say the Cowboys are legit.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, if Drew Brees was in this game, there's no way I would be going with the Cowboys right now.
But that's something that has to be done first. Teddy Bridgewater looked good.
He looked serviceable.
I haven't looked at the spread yet, and I'm gonna pick the Cowboys. They're 3-0. I think Teddy Bridgewater isn't gonna repeat the performance as well.
Yeah.
People say this is an NFC Championship game. I'm not so sure about that. We'll get into it.
No. I don't see that.
And I doubt the Cowboys more than the Saints, by the way. But Dak Prescott, to me, he's not an elite quarterback yet. People like him. He's padding the stats big time against weak opponents, loading it on. But let's see him play a big season. Let's see him beat the Eagles in Philly. Let's see him beat the Saints right now.
Yeah.
They have a tough schedule coming up. They have the easiest part done. The Cowboys have a difficult schedule to close out this season.
Yes, they do.
If you can keep this up, he's great. He's great. I'll admit it, he's good, and the Cowboys have a chance. This one, I'm just telling everyone, hold their horses. I'm not hating on them. Hold your horses. But we haven't seen that much. Gonna pick the Cowboys anyway. And finally, the game that no one's gonna watch. How is this Monday night? I don't know. How did this happen? Did people expect the Bengals to be good before the season when they made this?
I want to know
0-3 Bengals at the 0-3 Steelers.
I want to know who at the NFL is picking the Thursday night games and the Monday night games, because we have not seen a good matchup yet.
No.
I mean, I'm sure they expected the Bears and the Packers to be great on the first Thursday night, but
okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
that was a bad game between decent teams, though.
Yeah, but they knew putting the Redskins and the Bengals in there. I mean, they didn't know that the Steelers were going to be this bad, but come on, like there's
what is this? So
better matchups. I mean. Going with the Steelers just because they're at home. Both teams are really horrible right now, and I believe in Mason Rudolph more than Andy Dalton, to tell you the truth. And that's going out on a limb to say that because Andy Dalton's been a starter in the league for a very long time, and Mason Rudolph is a backup on his second season in the NFL. And he's just now getting any real playing time, but I believe in him and that Big 12 offense. Well, actually, I can't say that because Andy Dalton came from the Big 12 also over at TCU. But I believe in Mason Rudolph more. I mean, I think he's a better quarterback than Andy Dalton right now.
Yeah, I believe that Steelers defense more than the Bengals defense is the big one. Steelers defense was the bright spot of that game last week. They forced a lot of turnovers, at least.
They did.
Most of them not
what
really
was it?
intentionally.
5?
But they did. And they held their ground. Offense could not convert at all.
Yeah.
So that offense was anemic. It was bad. And I think the Steelers are going to edge it out in the close one. It's going to be a terrible game. This is going to be one of those games where they'll go like, oh, no one's watching anyway. They'll try like the sort of the Madden camera angle, like the long field sort of thing again, and they'll bring in like the unknown commentaries and stuff. That's sort of what this is going to be, I think, because this is wretched. But yeah, Steelers to take it. Someone has to win. If that were not the rule, I don't think either one would, but someone has to win, so the Steelers are going to be it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, 49ers and Jets on bye week. Very different outlooks there, but they'll be in action next week again.
Oh, yeah.
And that's our predictions. You've got them written down?
I do.
Smokey?
Yeah. I'm here.
You got them?
Okay,
I didn't hear that for a second.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I've got them written down, man.
That's
cut
good.
out.
So, got all that out the way. And we already mentioned it a little bit, talked about it a little bit. The AFC looks pretty top heavy, and we said we were gonna periodically look at sort of our favorites. Who are we looking at for Super Bowl matchups, championship games, and right now, if you survey people on the AFC championship game, I think everyone is gonna mention 2 of those 3 teams, and you know who I mean.
Oh yeah,
Patriots, Chiefs, Ravens.
Yep.
And what's your pick right now?
Out of those 3.
Yes, out of those 3.
Right now I'm going with the Chiefs. I mean, we saw what the Ravens had for the Chiefs, and the Pats are running off the easiest schedule in the league right now. Well, I guess you could argue the Cowboys, but one of the easiest schedules in the league. So I'm definitely going with the Chiefs. I mean, I don't.
Patriots are facing an undefeated Buffalo Bills this week. That's gonna
this will be
be tough.
Yeah,
convince yourself that's gonna be tough. I like the Chiefs and Patriots in that game for sure. I wanted to propose this bet right now. Chiefs and Patriots. I'm gonna say yes. Are you gonna take a bet against that right now?
To pick the Chiefs, or what do you mean?
No, just that the AFC Championship game will be Chiefs and Patriots. Those 2 are going to play in that game.
Yeah.
That's my bet.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be.
Yeah, so there's 16 teams there, and this exact matchup seems to be so obvious that you wouldn't even take the bet against it.
There's always the any given Sunday factor. I mean...
yeah, but... Is it when it's the best defense ever, the best offense ever?
Yeah.
How do you beat anyone? How do you beat either of those teams? I right now I can't imagine like physically, right? Like how is it gonna shape out when they meet?
So
how is it even gonna work?
You think
either of those teams is beatable?
You think these teams are gonna be 17-0 facing each other?
Maybe. Can you imagine that? That would be great.
Yeah.
And that would also mean that the AFC Championship game is essentially determining the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the one-sided Super Bowl. Yeah,
which it used to be that way in the NFC for a long time. 80s, 90s, you had Cowboys, Niners, Redskins.
Yeah.
Whoever wins the NFC Championship game, you're the honorary role of go beat the Broncos or Chargers by 40 in the Super Bowl and then come home. It seems like that sort of is the case in the AFC now.
Well, except for the Patriots, it has been for the past how many years? The Patriots are the one standout. You had the Broncos on a run with Peyton for a little while, but other than that, it was the Patriots, and that was it. You had
the Steelers too. You had the Steelers competing a bit, but they were just.
But they always got knocked out by the Patriots.
Yeah, they never cracked Belichick. They never did one.
Yeah.
And I think if someone can do, and I think this might be foolish when in a year when look at this, how could I pick this? But if someone can do it, if someone can beat Bill Belichick at a game of football, it's Patrick Mahomes, right? It has to be.
Yeah.
It's just too good of a Messiah story.
Well, and it's Andy Reid. Andy Reid has a great record against Bill Belichick, believe it or not.
Yeah, but Andy Reid is not a winning coach yet.
What do you mean? He's not above 500?
Well, no, he's not. He's not winning championship. He's not winning the.
Oh yeah, of course not.
He can put up regular numbers. Andy Reid's gonna get Patrick Mahomes probably 5 MVPs or more, probably likely even. But is he gonna get him 5 Lombardis? I don't know. Right now, it looks like the Chiefs are unbeatable, and we'll see about the Patriots defense, but. It might be foolish to pick against Bill Belichick ever, especially in this year. What needs to happen is the Patriots, the Chiefs defense needs to step up in that game. We're already projecting way in the future, obviously now, but it's gonna come down to how well do you contain that offense, because you can expect Patrick Mahomes to put up 3 touchdowns on anyone, even on the Patriots.
Yes.
Can you hold a good offense to less than that? That's what it's gonna come down to.
I don't think so, man.
That defense is not gonna be diced up like any other defense right now by Mahomes. Even not doesn't matter how great he is. They're not gonna put 35 on the Patriots most likely.
But let's look at it this way: the Ravens maybe their defense is not quite as good as the Patriots, but they are maybe a top 4 or 5 defense in the league.
Yeah, they are a good defense.
And they had nothing for Patrick Mahomes.
No,
they had nothing for this Chiefs.
But they're not the Patriots.
They're not, and
not even close.
They don't have Bill Belichick. They have Jay Gruden. Jay Gruden. They have Harbaugh.
Yeah,
but
they don't have Bill Belichick.
Coaching families mixed up here, but
I'm pretty sure you've made this mistake before that I've also made before, which is doubting Bill Belichick.
Oh, of course, all the time.
It's one of the deadly sins these days, and everyone has made that mistake before. We've all assumed it, and we should know. We should know better, but we apparently we don't, because people like Patrick Mahomes come around and give us hope. But we are gonna see. Love him or hate him, and I'm assuming you probably hate him, but Bill Belichick is the most dominant individual in NFL history, I want to say.
Yes.
And it's this side of Jerry Rice, obviously, but the one guy in the league right now who I see having actual potential to grab that spot is Patrick Mahomes. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be epic, and I hope that's gonna be the game, or I expect it to be the game.
That'd
I
be
hope
amazing,
it's not gonna be the Patriots, but I expect it to be. So that's the AFC. Now for the NFC. What do you got?
Well, we got the Rams, and I know you don't want to believe in the Cowboys, and we have the Packers.
You have the Rams and Packers. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you got to throw the Cowboys in there, though. I mean,
do you?
I know you don't. You're not ready to buy into it yet.
Week.
Yeah,
We'll get back to the whole Cowboys thing next week.
Well, here's another thing. Do you think the Saints stick around? I mean, do you think Teddy Bridgewater can actually, if Drew Brees is gone for another 6 weeks, if you count the bye also, could Teddy Bridgewater win them 4 of those? and
sure looks like it.
Keep the Saints in. Yeah.
He just did, and that was a pretty good game too. That was not an easy one at all.
Yeah.
I think he can. I think the Saints for sure will survive this situation, because it's not like they're falling off a cliff. They still have Alvin Kamara, who's a top running back. Mm-hmm. They still have a good defense and still one of the strongest offenses. If Breeze comes back, that's only going to get strong. Yeah, the Saints are in it. Saints are in it, and they're a candidate to me. NFC Championship, Saints and Packers. I really believe in the Packers actually this year.
I do too. And I've been on record saying that.
What happened the last time that Aaron Rodgers had an average defense and a good run game?
They won the Super Bowl. And that's only happened once. Mm-hmm.
I always tend to bring up this stat, but Aaron Rodgers played what? How many years in the league now? 13, 14?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
3, I think, is the number. 3 or even just 2 above average defenses. Mm-hmm. Patriots, Tom Brady played, what, 17, 18 years? 16
19,
above
right?
average defenses. Maybe 19 years.
Yeah, I think this is the 19th season. I think he started in 2000, yeah.
Yeah, so defense is the foundation of everything. Mm-hmm. And you have to have a great defense to win a Super Bowl. And if you have an extraordinary quarterback talent, you have to have a good defense.
Yes.
And providing a good defense to Aaron Rodgers is what they are doing right now. Packers defense is looking good. They're actually really good. They're above average.
They are.
And, Aaron Rodgers barely got touched in last week's game. That was clean. Mm-hmm. So he's gonna be dangerous if they keep it up. And I said it before, I think, but I like the LaFleur system a lot. I said that when they hired him, this is gonna look good, because save for Jay Gruden, what young coach of that sort of coaching tree has really not done well yet, or hasn't showed much promise? Really no one, right?
Yeah.
You got McVay, you got Kyle Shanahan, you got the LaFleurs, obviously. Mm-hmm. So Jay Gruden seems to be the bit of outlier there, but it's looking good. I like the Packers. I like the Saints. They're going to survive what's going on, especially because their division is not looking super strong. Both Panthers and Falcons so far a bit disappointing. I think the Saints going to live through this, and Breeze is going to come back, and they're going to make a serious run. Rams have to step it up a notch. They're undefeated, obviously. First step for them is going to be win the division. Mm-hmm. Probably not clinch a first round bye. I'm not quite seeing that, but yeah, they have to step it up just a little bit, and you got to beat Aaron Rodgers. You had to beat the Saints last year. You had to beat Saints, Cowboys. Now you're going to have to deal with Aaron Rodgers, and that's a different person. You've never played anyone like him. If he gets the right support, so that's gonna be that.
One thing about the Rams is, in this McVay system, I know it's innovative, and this guy, everybody wants a piece of McVay. They want anybody off the McVay tree. But when you watch the Rams, you don't see, even though they win, and they win a lot, you don't see dominance. You don't see just the team going out there and just rolling over opponents. They win, but it's not. They do. It's not the same way the Patriots or the Chiefs win.
That is true. He's not. See, McVay is a great play caller. I think people I think there's a couple of play callers that at their highest or at their best are better than McVay. Mm-hmm. But so far have been less consistent. It's Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, because you see the Chiefs, and it's been rare, but you've seen it with the Bengals, the Niners. If it works, if the play calling clicks, that's the best play calling in the league, and that's the most dominant offense you'll see. What McVay does is he's incredibly consistent. And Jared Goff, by the way, we talked about it. Game manager.
Yes.
Jared Goff is Tom Brady. Tom Brady is Jared Goff. And again, right now, Brady is better than Jared Goff because of 16 extra years of experience. But 40-year-old Jared Goff is going to be Tom Brady with an exceptional head coach, provided he has an exceptional head coach.
Yeah, if he stays with McVay, I could see that happening.
And that's what it takes. And that's a recipe for success. Now, but what the Rams are going to be running into is roster management and cap management, because they're going to have to pay a lot of people. And they've already lost some starting quality over this offseason. But so far, they're still looking good.
Mm-hmm. If you took Jared Goff and threw him on the Redskins right now, he's not an elite player. He's I mean, he may be a step above Case Keenum, but I don't see him being the winning team, the winning quarterback that he is right now. It's all McVay.
It is a lot of McVay. Listen, you can tell sometimes in games, Jared Goff is listening to the microphone more than he's looking down the field. It's a lot of McVay. He's waiting for his play call to decipher the defense.
That's what I think about a lot. If they would have drafted Carson Wentz instead of Goff first, that team would be unstoppable.
I think this is very, very strong parallels to the Brady Rodgers situation. I feel like with the Wentz and Goff.
Yeah.
Even though Wentz has so far at least had better or also decent support in Philadelphia, but it's also kind of not looking so hot now. But on the one side, you have the solid, the really good game managing, makes no mistakes, just consistent quarterback who does everything you need him to do to win every single game.
Yes.
On the other side, you have that once in a generation just
gunslinger
talent, physical talent, one of the best passers in the league.
Yeah.
Who tends to struggle though without having the support there. So there's certainly some parallels there, and that's going to be an interesting competition going down the line in an upcoming decades.
An opposite parallel of the whole Mariota Winston ordeal.
Oh yeah, that's
those guys are battling for the worst starting quarterbacks.
Yeah. I don't know what that there. I really right now don't have a comparison for that right now. Not really. Nothing in mind. That draft class. That draft class really went south.
There's no 2011, that's for sure.
I had questions. See, I had questions about Mariota when he came out. I really believe Jameis, and that's how people are wrong.
It's that championship bias, man. You pick the guys that played in the playoffs and the championships and roll with them. Just if you need a quarterback, get the guy that was in the national championship game. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't even. Yeah. It almost feels like they don't even watch tape on some of these guys. They're just like, he was in the championship game. Let's take him.
Yeah. I learned from that, and now I'm saying take the kid from Duke over the championship.
Well, there you go. I mean, that may be the route to go.
Might be. We'll see. And that's championship games. Speaking of college, by the way, obviously, I kind of feel obligated to say this for some reason because I've heard it so much. But no, Jalen Hurts is not better than Tua Tagovailoa. He's not going to be drafted over Tua Tagovailoa. No one looking at this seriously is going to draft him over Tua Tagovailoa.
No.
He might as well win the Heisman. Listen, the Heisman hasn't meant anything in 2-3 years now. It hasn't meant anything. That's just
except for a first overall draft pick.
Yeah. Lincoln Riley's producing Heisman winners, not football game winners, not championship winners. I get the whole Oklahoma storyline. People like him. I really don't care that much.
There's a storyline, a narrative here that I would really love to see play out. I would love to see Oklahoma somehow make it to the playoffs and play Alabama. And I know that's what Jalen is hoping for.
Oh, that's what I'm hoping for. That is what I am.
That would be an amazing game. I'd pay to see that.
Because you're gonna see Saint Nick in person, and you're gonna see Tua in person, and it's for the championship.
Oh yeah. Not for the championship
that's
because
gonna be something.
Not for the championship. I'm talking round one.
It's online. It's forced. So I would love to see that. Absolutely, and maybe it will. But,
I mean, for one, I guess it's possible. If Bama ends up, well, they're probably going to end up second. And let's say they end up second, and Oklahoma ends up fourth again, like they usually do. They throw them in there, and say they don't get beat in the first round like they have in so many years recent. It's possible they could be playing for the championship, but that means Bama getting past whoever number 3 is, which is not going to be Notre Dame, obviously. maybe an Ohio State, maybe a Georgia, depending on how that game turns out in the SEC championship.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean,
so you expecting Clemson there to stay at number one?
Yeah, I mean, look at their schedule, man. They have an easy route to number one.
They do.
Do you know the biggest game they have left on their schedule is South Carolina?
All right.
Yeah. Great. Exactly.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I guess you see if they don't lose, you can't really take the one away from them because you don't look at schedules that much. That's just kind of the issue with the committee there. So I guess that's what it's gonna come down to. The playoffs. The college playoffs is still the Alabama Invitational, and I think those two teams are definitely locks.
Unless
to make it obviously
unless Georgia can pull it out in the SEC championship.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, there's still a possibility that Alabama gets in if they lose. If they win, they're deadlocked. There's no doubt about it.
For sure.
But if they lose, then there's a possibility that Georgia's going in at number 2 and Alabama's going in at number 4.
Bold prediction, Bama's going in.
How bold is that?
It's not bold at all because they always go in.
Has there been one?
I want to say Bama.
Yeah, since the playoffs, has there been one without Alabama? I don't think so.
What do you say?
Alabama, since they've instituted the playoff system, the 4-game playoff, Alabama's been in every one, correct?
I think so. Yeah, nothing comes to mind.
Yeah,
I think so. And it's because of committee. It's tough to change that because they're established now. The first year that Alabama is not in the playoff, the sky's falling because people will take a lot of heat for that.
Yeah, it's like
so that's
the Patriots not going to the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. But through the decision of someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's
the tough part.
Yeah, that's that extra element in college football. This is all opinion based.
So I want to see Tua get his shot at Clemson once again. But I also really want to see them in Oklahoma. I just really want to see that game. That would be great.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that is cleared up. Tua is going to be the 1 overall pick, and you know what? My call that he might go to the Bengals is still on. They don't seem like the worst team, but record-wise, they are in the bottom. Dolphins right now seem like the worst.
Yeah. Do you think there's a chance that he doesn't go number 1 overall, though? I mean, say you don't think there's a chance that he's going number 1 no matter what?
Kyler Murray went number 1 overall.
Yeah.
That was the weakest quarterback class, while one of the strongest defensive line classes we've seen in recent years.
I'm trying to think if
we are at the point now that no quarterback or a quarterback can never not go first overall again in the NFL draft.
You think? Well, I mean, we've seen linebackers go first. We've seen D-line go first,
When's the last time who's the last guy who's not a quarterback?
Myles Garrett.
Pass rusher, quarterback, pass rusher, or offensive lineman. Offensive lineman, I'm saying only because of Eric Fisher.
Yeah.
The NFL is so pass heavy now. That quarterback and the guy who kills him and the guy who protects him from the guy who kills him are the 3 most valuable positions.
Yes.
And if Kyler Murray goes first overall over Quinn Williams, Nick Bosa, Josh Allen, there is no justification for a quarterback ever to not go number 1 overall, because it doesn't matter how bad the class is. Kyler Murray to me was a 2nd round talent, if that at all. There was like 40 players I had over him overall, and close to 50 actually. And
who
quarterback it's so inflated.
You know who almost pulled that off was Saquon Barkley. If it wasn't for the Browns in desperate need of a quarterback again. And look,
you think the Giants at 1, you think if the Giants were at 1, they would have picked Barkley?
Yeah, I don't think they were ready to leave Eli.
They'll trade down. Let someone get their quarterback. They could have traded down there. But no, they trade down and let someone take their quarterback. If I'm at 1 and I don't want quarterback, I trade down because I'm going to get the house for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, no one's gonna pick a non-quarterback first overall. I don't know what kind of talent would have to come around to make that happen because
that's why I'm trying to think of who's coming up that would be worth that kind of value. Not right offhand. I mean, I think I agree with you. Tua's probably going number one.
Tua a quarterback is going number one. That I'm going to guarantee, and 95% is going to be Tua, and it's going to be Trevor Lawrence the year after.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lock in. Now let's talk about, just to close it up a little bit, about some of the disappointing or surprising things we've seen in the NFL so far, and we hinted at it before with that Monday night game, but the Steelers and the Bengals right now combined for 0 wins, and they got Monday Night Football. Talk about a disappointment. Steelers are a shell of their former self.
Yeah, it is, man. And I thought maybe they could put this together without the bad elements that they got rid of. I thought maybe, we could come together now. Juju's good. He could fit that Antonio Brown role. Maybe he's not quite as good as Antonio Brown, but, he could be serviceable in that position. And I thought James Conner could service, that position for Le'Veon, but and then Big Ben goes out.
And that's it. That seals it.
I'm sad for the team because I do. I kind of like the Steelers,
You like the Steelers, really?
I've always kind of liked them, they've never been like, oh, I'm just going to root for them no matter what, but...
That's probably because you weren't around during their dominant days, probably. If you were around during the 70s, you probably hated them like you do the Patriots.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, in the 70s, you either picked the Cowboys or the Steelers,
Yeah.
It's either, America's team or the big villain, But... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's something about the Steelers I've always liked, and I kind of feel sad for them these days.
We should do this at some point. How about like your top 5 teams or top 5 favorite teams that is not your primary team?
Oh yeah, I can do that easily.
Can you do it right now?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Top 5 teams that are not the Falcons that you like.
That are not the Falcons. The Bills, number 1. Chargers, number 2. Steelers, number 3. Raiders, number 4. And not necessarily the Raiders right now, but the Raiders. Yeah, the Raiders overall.
I can't stand for that one.
And number 5, that's kind of a bottleneck that I would have to sift through, but I want to say the Packers.
All right. So there's some good teams there at least. Mm-hmm. I somehow feel like the rest of the AFC East looks so sympathetic, right? Mm-hmm. Because of the Patriots. But for me, I probably have to say also Chargers. In no particular order this one, but aside of the Niners, really Chargers, Lions, Dolphins for sure, and Chargers definitely. Maybe Bills or Jets are a candidate.
Yeah.
But right now, I also really like the Chiefs just because Patrick Mahomes is so fantastic. I like it.
Yeah.
But I guess that's
Give me
will be it.
Give me your top 3 hated teams.
Top 3 hated teams.
Yes.
Seahawks. Definitely Seahawks. Probably they have to be number 1. I want to say Rams because they are good right now, and then it's gotta be either the Cowboys or the Patriots. Even though I have no reason to hate the Patriots beyond the objective stuff of they cheated a bunch, and I'm kind of sick of seeing them win. But they've never done me bad personally at all. Patriots and Niners have always had a good relationship. We got Jimmy, and I know some maniacs might suspect collusion there, which is obviously not true.
Oh yeah, who would think that?
Yeah, who would do that? That's even crazier than
that's
my betting.
Yeah, that's crazier than thinking the Jets are going to win this season.
It's crazy. So. Yeah, I have no subjective reason of hating the Patriots other than I'm tired of seeing them win. But Seahawks, Rams, and optimally it would be the 3 division rivals if they all look good. Cardinals right now are not, so it's not them. Give me Seahawks, Rams, and Cowboys.
Okay, and I gotta
but
go.
the Seahawks with an extra passion though. Like
Yeah, well, they're one of mine as
Super
well.
Bowl, like in the Super Bowl, I was still rooting for the Patriots very slightly, even though I knew there was no good outcome. But I'd rather not have the Rams. I'd rather take another Patriots win than have a Rams win. But when the Seahawks played the Patriots, I was ecstatic when Malcolm Butler caught that pick. I was hyped. So that was a big one for me.
You want to talk about those Super Bowls? I'll give you my top 4 because number 3 and 4 are kind of tied there. But number 1 is the Saints, of course. Number 2 is the Patriots. Number 3 is kind of tied between the Broncos and the Seahawks. Now,
how do the Broncos come to be there?
Because of 1998.
Oh, okay.
I cannot. And also, they added fuel to the fire that Super Bowl against the Panthers. I'm not a Panthers fan at all, but they played really dirty in that game, and it pissed me off because I already had, a hatred for them in the beginning, so it just added fuel to the fire. But
Really, the Broncos?
I can't get that image out of my head of 1998 seeing Mark Schlereth and John Elway laying under a pile of Falcons on the goal line in the end zone, laughing to each other because they just basically ended the hopes and dreams of everyone in Atlanta. So I hate the Broncos. So that made for some pretty horrible Super Bowls during 2015 and 16 and 14 and 16 for sure, or 14 and 15.
When is the last Super Bowl that you didn't
13,
see a team
14,
you hate compete? Like neither Patriots nor Broncos. It might have been a while, right?
Yeah, maybe maybe the Packers when they won. Yeah, because if you look back far enough, all you see is Patriots and Broncos and Seahawks and Saints. I mean, my God. I didn't even think about that till you just pulled it up. Oh, God. Super Bowls suck, dude.
They do. Unless they're great, which Eagles Patriots was fantastic.
Yeah, it was good.
I actually wanted to mention the Eagles in that list of teams that I'm at least on good ground with. Because a lot of people hate the Eagles, and I get why. But
I don't.
The Eagles played one of the best games ever, and I don't hate the Eagles at all.
I don't hate the Eagles. I just hate their fan base.
Eagles hate that's true. Eagles hate, but you can say that about the Bills. But Eagles hate the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of degenerates out there, but the Bills, the Bills fan base are entertaining, at its core. Whereas the Eagles fan base,
maybe you know what? Maybe I should mention the Raiders actually in most hated teams. Neglected those because they're so relevant. But once they get out of the city that doesn't belong to them, then they probably won't be there anymore because there won't be a threat competitively, and they won't be stealing the market anymore. But up until then. I might also take the Raiders. The Raiders are the equivalent of a parasite to the city of San Francisco. To be completely honest,
they're across the bridge, man.
Yeah, but still, though, I'm glad they're leaving. They're going to the city of the circus, which is where they belong. It's perfect. Dude,
I like the Raiders, man.
I do not like the Raiders.
I don't like how they're playing over the past few years, but. I like the aura of the Raiders. I like really? Kenny Stabler, the glory days of the Raiders, But
Fred Biletnikoff with the elbow long sleeves playing receiver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No thanks. I'm not a huge Raiders fan. Let's get off that. We talked enough hate. So big surprises, I think. I mean, you gotta mention the Bills, though. If we talk about the biggest surprise so far, positively speaking, of course, there's negative surprises, Steelers, etc. But man, the Bills. You look at the list of undefeated teams even after week 2, and you can't really help but notice that the Bills are sticking out like a sore thumb on that list, and they still are on it.
Yeah, man, it's a pleasant surprise, man. I did not see them doing anything close to what they've done in these first 3 games, and I'm so happy to see it because I love the Bills. I mean,
I like him.
I was Josh Allen. I mean, that was one of my favorite quarterbacks coming into that draft.
Yep.
I put him and Lamar Jackson at 1 and 2 that season. I know you're big on Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen, but
you had him and Jackson 1 and 2.
Yes, I did.
Wow. All right.
Because of the
so who
excitement.
how do you have the rest of the guys? How do you have the rest of the guys?
It would have been Baker Mayfield third because and then Sam Darnold. I mean, Sam and Josh Rosen last, of course. Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen didn't give me that wow factor. You know, I know they were great players in college. You know, they held down the state of California, but when I watched their games, I didn't see like, oh my God, look what he just did. You know, like you would see with a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen. You know,
I think with Baker, like he did have some of the wow factor in games, but he also had a lot of the wow factors off the field, which is something that I don't. Those are two very different effects.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I wasn't too high on, and I was all about Sam Darnold. I think it was great. I think he was the best quarterback to come out of college since Andrew Luck. And I still think he'll live up to that. I had Josh Rosen second, and I still believe in Josh Rosen because I know that he was pro ready first day he stepped into the league. Most refined quarterback of the class. A lot of people, especially scouts that value clean technique, technical brilliance, and game management, you know, intelligence, football understanding, had Josh Rosen graded the highest in that class. And I had Baker Mayfield third. I had Baker Mayfield third just because of I do really like the intangibles still. And I had Josh Allen fourth, Lamar Jackson fifth. And actually I was when I made my list and I made my video, I was close to not having Lamar Jackson on that list, and that would have looked really stupid now, but I had Mason Rudolph up there.
Oh, really?
I did. Yeah.
Oh,
I put him in sixth, had Lamar seventh.
He was great.
It was close.
He was great at Oklahoma State, man.
He was.
I've always saw Mason Rudolph as he's going to be something one day. Maybe not right now. Maybe not right now where we're sitting right here today. But I think he's going to be something. He's going to get his chance. If that's not happening right now, he's going to get his chance in the future, and I think he'll do something.
I think he'll win games. By the way, I think he'll win a couple games for the Steelers this year. They're not going to be awful.
Yeah,
they're not going to be. Listen, the Steelers aren't Redskins bad or Dolphins bad. Mm-hmm. They're bad, but they're probably more like 4-12 or 5-11 bad than like 0-16 bad.
Yeah,
which is due to good defense, and Mason Rudolph is a serviceable starter, and he's a rookie. I mean, he did not look good at all. He had 2 big plays, and then he got shot down. And you got to think that Big Ben would have iced that game in the first quarter. I mean, Niners turned it over 5 times. that was horrendous, and they had no business being in that game, let alone win it late. But it was a defensive game.
Yeah. I think Rudolph has a chance to catch up, though. I think he still has a chance to turn this around. I mean, he's got a whole rest of the season to play with, and you know he really could. He could end up doing something and surprising everyone.
Sure, and I wouldn't mind seeing it. I don't necessarily want need the Steelers to be winning it all, like being all the way up there, but I also don't hate. I'm kind of neutral on the Steelers.
Yeah,
I want to say so.
Yeah,
that's a more of unpleasant surprise.
You know what I think? I'm sorry. I think it's good for football when the Steelers are winning.
Yeah, you could say that about a lot of teams, though. You can say that about the Giants.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of tradition with the Steelers, though. I mean, a lot of old timers, you know, when they think of the NFL, they think of the Steelers and the Cowboys,
the Steel Curtain.
Yeah, exactly.
The 70s, 80s, 90s. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. Depends. Some people might think like Packers and way back.
Oh yeah, and yeah, that's those. Most of those people are dead now, though.
Yeah. Statistically speaking, by the way, over the entirety of the NFL, and I'm not sure if it calculated before then, but statistically speaking, I've seen a recently statistical analysis. The worst team in NFL history is
the Atlanta Falcons.
the Cardinals.
Really?
The Cardinals, yes. By quite a big margin, actually. Because if you think about it, the Cardinals they've never done anything.
I think it depends on what metrics. But I thought for sure, since you were bringing that up, that it was going to be the Falcons because...
No, it's just a fun fact that I saw. It's already been a year, so last season counts into that, so I probably still the Cardinals because they were terrible. And they are now. So yeah, they are the least successful franchise, statistically speaking, in NFL history. Well, calculating playoff success, total win records, all that sort of thing.
The Falcons had runs where they would go over a decade without sniffing the playoffs, and they going under 500 for years and years in a row. The 70s and 80s were tough times for the Falcons.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find that stadio, that stat sheet.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to see that.
Because I'm not sure anymore if it was just Super Bowl era or even before that, 100 year.
Who is
100 year NFL? I'm not even sure, but it
the Cardinals
100 year because the Browns were not that low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the first name you would think of if you were asking someone. The first name that pops into anyone's head is the Browns. But as a matter of fact, and it's kind of hard to count the Browns because it's two separate organizations there. One of them is actually the Ravens, as you brought up earlier. And
you always count the team by the name of Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. And you can go back to as far back as the Akron Bulldogs when they actually had decent runs, and the Browns had decent runs before the Super Bowl era. I believe.
Yeah, for sure they were one of the best teams. Otto Graham won 8 championships. The Browns were great before the Super Bowl. They are just never doing so far.
Yeah, exactly.
They're one of the biggest history teams for sure. So you can make the argument that the NFL's better off if the Browns are playing well, which is fair.
Yeah,
enough.
That's true.
I think the NFL's best off if everyone's playing well.
Yeah, I mean you have organizations like the Packers that have been around since 1921 or whatever it was, and the Bears, who were the Staleys, and
I got one more to close it out because we've been going for a while, but I have one more statistical fun fact that I learned about last season that I want to mention once again. I tweeted it out once, but the Browns were last year when they played the Ravens. They were playing for a positive record, and they ever so slightly lost them. They whiffed it by a field goal, and they would have been the first team to go from 0-16 one year to a winning record the next year. Since when? And whom? Who was that team?
I'm sorry, you broke up. You said from 0-16 to a winning record the next season, and then what?
Yeah. The first team to do that since when, and who was the last team to do it?
The last team to do that? Well, the only other team to go 0-16 were the Lions.
And then
Matt Stafford.
Not even the Super Bowl era, but pro football in general, entire history.
Wow, that's a shot in the dark then. I will go... Let's go with the Cardinals then.
Duluth Eskimos, I believe 1924.
Oh, man.
Fun fact.
I would have never gotten that one.
No, me neither. I just read it somewhere, and now I'm using it as my own fact. But that's a closer right there. So maybe the 2020 Dolphins are doing it. How about that?
Maybe so. It depends on how well they draft next season. But
I think the Dolphins will turn out better than the Steelers over the next 5 years. I think they'll do good
over the next few seasons. You said?
Yeah. I think the Dolphins have a good future. Not right now at all, but I think they will. Give it 3 years, give it 4 years, Dolphins will be good.
I don't know, man. I don't. I guess it's possible. It's just hard to think the Steelers having multiple losing seasons. This is just something that doesn't happen. It
hasn't happened. It has. We're not really used to it, but it's gonna happen. And by the way, it's also gonna happen to the Patriots. because it's all on the shoulders of Belichick. So when he's retiring, a lot of stuff will fall down in New England.
Oh yeah.
So it can happen to everyone. It will, but dynasties are never eternal in sports. So that does not happen. So except for Alabama. Alabama is insane,
and they'll fall too. Saban won't be there forever.
No, Saban won't be there forever. That's true. But right now he still is there. And even after that, I think they're just so established. Like, it seems like every single year now, like 4 weeks into the college football season, everyone's taken by surprise by the fact that, there's actually a 5-star recruit running back who's going to be a top 20 pick next year at Alabama every single season, because that 5-star running back is backed up by another 5-star running back. And that started like that went from Mark Ingram, you had Derrick Henry, TJ Yeldon, now Josh Jacobs.
And Najee Harris is next.
It keeps going. Najee Harris is next, exactly.
Yes.
So that's how the recruiting train. But I think we talked enough today. Got a good week of football ahead of us, except for Monday night. No one's gonna watch that. Go watch like Raw or something. Is Raw still on Monday nights?
Yes, it is actually.
Yeah, I'd probably rather watch that than the Steelers and Bengals, to be completely honest. But I believe 2 weeks Monday night is Niners Browns, if I'm not mistaken. So that I will watch.
Yeah, of course,
but not this one. This is.
I know
this is gonna be rough. I'll watch the highlights.
You will have your vested interest in that game, but it's not a marquee matchup.
Alright, so I think that's going to do it for tonight. It's been a long show. I hope everyone did enjoy it. Let me know your predictions in the comments of this video. Whether you're watching on Beyond Football or the Trash Talkers channel. Drop your predictions in there and then compete against us. See if you can beat us. I doubt it, obviously. Got to be confident in what I picked. But maybe you'll have the lucky hand. So let us know and then challenge us. See if you can beat us. We're doing good. We're not doing terrible so far. Maybe it's too easy for us. Maybe if we do really good, then we'll actually doing bets against the spread. We'll start putting points, because that's more of an even thing, which just could also be fun. We can maybe think about that next season, or maybe later this season. It depends on how good we keep on doing. But thank you everyone for watching. Of course, if you are Beyond Football, go check out the Trash Talkers and vice versa. They have a lot of great content. And if you're a football fan from their channel, come on over Beyond Football and look at some of my other content. That would be great. Obviously, next episode coming up next week, we'll have week 5 discussion. We'll have whatever craziness is going down this week. We'll have the official Buffalo Bills celebration parade after beating the Patriots, going 4-0. And you don't believe that, neither do I, but hopefully it will be great. Until then, drop a like on this video, subscribe to both of the channels, and we'll see you next time.
Yep, deuces.